Okay, so we have some good news. I think I did a couple days ago a video of a roundup of LGBT news. Well, we have an update on one of them, and that's in regard to Jimmy Sham and his marriage and Hong Kong. So let's just get right to the article. Hong Kong's top court partially approved on Tuesday a landmark appeal by an LGBT activist for recognition of same-sex marriages, calling for new regulations for gay couples to protect their basic social needs. The ruling by Hong Kong's Court of Final Appeal followed a 5-year legal battle fought by jailed democracy and LGBTQ rights activist Jimmy Sham. It was the first time that the court directly addressed the issue of same-sex marriage in the Asian financial hub. The judges dismissed Sham's appeal that he had a constitutional right to a same-sex marriage in Hong Kong, but effectively gave the government 2 years to ensure that rights, such as access to hospitals and inheritance, could be protected for same-sex couples. Hold it, what? So he can't get married in Hong Kong, but if he gets married somewhere else, then then same-sex couples have protections. Am I reading that right? Chief Justice Andrew Chung, permanent judges Roberto Ribeiro, Joseph Falk, Johnson Lamb, and non-permanent judge Patrick Keane ruled that marriage freedoms outlined in Hong Kong's mini-constitution, known as the Basic Law, were confined to opposite-sex marriage. But the judges acknowledged same-sex couples' need for access to an alternative legal framework in order to meet basic social requirements. Same-sex couples also needed to have a sense of legitimacy, which dispels any sense of them belonging to an inferior class of person whose commitment and stable relationships are undeserving of recognition, the judges wrote. The Hong Kong government did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Lawyers and activists say the ruling could potentially force changes by the city's government and institutions and lead to a creation of a new legal regime to allow smoother inheritance and insurance options as well as tax allowances, among other rights. The decision could also influence Asian financial hubs from Tokyo to Singapore to draft more inclusive laws as a draw card for the diverse global talent that multinational corporations from banks to technology giants are seeking to hire and retain, which I talked about in my last video on this subject. Mainland China decriminalized homosexuality in 1997 and in 2001 removed it from its list of mental illnesses. Ouch. But same-sex marriage is not recognized and no official legal protections exist. The judges suspended a declaration that the Hong Kong government's lack of an alternative legal framework had violated Sham's rights, giving the government 2 years to make changes before they would say it was in a breach of the law. In the ruling, Judges Falk and Ribeiro noted real difficulties in many situations for some same-sex couples, noting the need for them to participate fully in healthcare and hospitalization decisions. So it sounds like the judges are basically telling the government, look, same-sex couples should exist. You're not passing a law doesn't make them go away, so, they're human beings, treat them like such. Alright. Problems like these have unsatisfactorily led to recurrent approaches to the courts, asking them to deal with each controversy on a case-by-case basis, they wrote. The absence of legal recognition has been seen to be essentially discriminatory and demeaning to same-sex couples. Sham, 36, married his partner in New York in 2013 and twice lost in lower courts after launching his bid for Hong Kong to recognize overseas same-sex marriages in 2018. Sham is one of the 47 Democrats charged under the Beijing-imposed national security law over an unofficial primary election held in 2020 and has been detained since March 2021. Oh, that's why that name sounds familiar. Esther Long, campaign manager of the Hong Kong Marriage Equality Group, said after the ruling that while the decision was a major step forward, it falls short of what is really at stake in this case: full inclusion in marriage. It is a significant victory which makes clear that Hong Kong law must afford due respect and protections to same-sex couples. This will help families while hurting no one, Long said. Hong Kong is due to host Asia's first gay games in November, an event that could help boost Hong Kong's lackluster post-COVID economic recovery. Family lawyer Azan Marwa said the ruling had serious and long-term impacts on the recognition and treatment of same-sex couples here in Hong Kong and those who are coming from abroad. And that is all I have on that article. So, I guess this is what in the U.S. would decry as activist judges, because they're following the law. They say that the Constitution doesn't include same-sex couples, but they're basically telling the legislatures, dudes, you've got to allow same-sex couples to exist. Come on. So, I guess it's good news that there are people in power that think that same-sex couples should exist. So that's good. But anyway, I'm starting to ramble, so I will see you guys in the next video.